Today I'm going to demonstrate how I use stone cutting techniques to create the percussion track in one of our latest releases. You won't want to miss this, so stick around. Hi, I'm Matthew David Fritz, and welcome to another episode where we go under the hood to look at the nuanced techniques of chords of a man music. Today we're going to be looking at the percussion track for our song Without a Sound, which is off of our newest album, Something More Is Here. And we're going to look at how we use stone cutting, actual recordings of stone cutting to create this track, as well as a unique percussion track with the snare drum as well. The rhythm for that is in quintuple meter, so we're going to demonstrate what we did to make that a little bit more appealing. And basically this song is based upon one verse in 1 Kings 6:7. Solomon was building the temple, and there was just this obscure verse that says, and I'll read it, it says that when the house was being built, it was built of finished stone, cut at the quarry, so that neither hammer nor axe nor any iron tool was heard in the house when it was being built. So here it's talking about the stones being cut for the temple. They were done in the quarry, not on site. They were not allowed to be cut. You were not allowed to hear the sound of cutting tools on the premise of the temple. All the cutting had to be done in the quarry. This is quite significant. I won't get into that here. That's not what this video is for. Listen to the song, look at the lyrics, and see it's very significant. It's very deep. It's very profound. But as for the song, we wanted to kind of bring out that notion of stone cutting and to do that, to enhance that, I thought let's use actual stone cutting. And I'm going to demonstrate how I did that and how we inserted it into the track. So here we have on my shop floor, we should have a stone. So basically I took my stone cutting chisel, my stone cutting hammer, my mason's hammer, took a stone and pointed the mics at it and just went for that basic sound. And it was just a little bit, loose with it to see what would happen. I ended up dropping the hammer a few times, scraping the hammer on the floor to pick it up again. And as I was scraping it on the floor, I noticed it created a really unique sound too, somewhat industrial. And so it gives you quite an impression of activity in a quarry. I thought that was kind of neat. So we used a lot of those sounds. I'll show you how we did that, how we inserted it into the song, and how we used it to actually create a rhythm which morphed into the drum beat. And the drum beat, again, it's in quintuple meter, which means there's 5 beats to a measure. And that in itself is very unique. Not done often, not done in hit songs. It's more like musicians' music. That's what we call it. It means it's appealing to musicians because it's unique, it's rare, it's hard to do, but it doesn't create hits. So if you're a musician, you may really appreciate that. If you're not, you won't care, and you'll never notice the difference. You might say it's a weird sounding song, but you don't know why. Anyway, basically the quintuple meter is just 5 beats. 1, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we used that rhythm just like I did in the song, I think maybe on 1 or 2 lines of the song. But then I realized that's going to be quite boring to hear that throughout the song. So I mixed it up, and I used the drum pattern from Dave Brubeck's Take 5, which is his famous jazz song. Everybody knows it. Just go back and plug that into Spotify and listen to it if you need a refresher. But it's in every coffee shop across the country. You've heard it. So that drum pattern is composed of an eighth note, a quarter note, an eighth note, a quarter, and then back to the original downbeat. Goes something like this. So it's still 5 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can't count it because of the imbalance of the eighth notes to the quarter notes. It's hard to count out, at least for me. I'm not that good. But we used that pattern in the song, and I'll show you how we inserted that pattern in the song at the right spots to make it interesting. So we're looking at my computer screen where I inserted the stone cutting into the song as a track. I will play that for you to let you hear how that sounds. You'll hear the hammer scraping, and you'll hear cutting. And that is in keeping with the time, so I'm going to put the metronome on. You can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can hear little hammer scrapes in between. And over here I got a little bit more creative when it got closer to where the drums come in. A little side to side action. Left side, a little bit on the right. You can hear the hammer scrape from left to right, or right to left. So that became the basic rhythm of the song. And then there's also the drums, the snare drum, and I will play that as well. Let's go ahead and listen to that as a whole. So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it stops, and then it goes into the take 5 beat, is what we call it, what I call it, because that's what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can hear it with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I'm going to play it in its context so you can hear how we inserted it into the song.
Fit to be built without a sound.
Stone cutting, and then there's a couple cuts, and then we get to the drums.
Hammers can break with just a word. Lightnings will slake until they're stirred. The path that we take, though not preferred.
The song also has a few other elements that I just wanted to throw in there. For one, there's a point in the song where it talks about being all alone. So I thought, wouldn't that be neat if it sounded like you were by yourself, all alone, with this long echo. So I threw that in on the vocal bus and enhanced it with the effects right here. So it sounds like she's really far off in the distance, all by herself, all alone, or in a cave or something. That was kind of neat. Then there was another part where we were doing our recording takes of the vocals, and in between I said something like, let's, a little louder or whatever, and she turned to me, in between the takes, she said, what? And I said, go, because it was the recording was going, and I didn't want her to miss where she would drop in on that line.
What?
On the left, she says, what? I say, go. That's just our banter while we're recording, but it was just cute, so I just threw it in there. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode, and stay tuned, because next time we will go under the hood to look at more nuanced techniques of our music. We'll see you next time.